So I want to state that I'm not usually someone who's big on reaction videos. Usually I can just watch something myself and pretty much appreciate and gain my own thoughts from it. But this is probably the first trailer I've seen where I'm like, hey, this is just something everyone needs to see. In terms of Spider-Man, I've played the original on PS4 and the remastered version and Miles Morales, and you can look at this trailer and see the improvements from the original or the previous two games, and that was just something that was spectacular. Just the attention to detail, the physicality. This looks like it's touching on obviously maybe a teen rating, but I wouldn't be surprised if this hopefully went at mature rating. I think that it would be an appropriate touch, but that's unrealistic. More than likely be a T rating for this game. But just look at this. I love how Craven is established already as being powerful, bloodthirsty, uncompromising. And the lighting is a thing I'm just loving throughout this whole presentation. Seeing all of the characters from Spider-Man and Miles Morales and some new one as well. I don't think I've seen Rafe, or at least not in great detail in regard to the second Miles Morales. Again, just a great attention to detail, and the lighting is just making this look so atmospheric, so beautiful. And what I love about this trailer, that it looks like it's just maybe a in-game mission of some sort. Like, this is obviously maybe a bunch of missions cobbled together, or one mission, I'm not sure, but this looks very seamless with regard to the way it's transitioning, and that is just something that's, again, wonderful, especially considering how seamless the first two games were. I mean, look at that. Look at that attention to detail right there. Just the way the tendrils, the venom tendrils, wrap around the spider suit, so it's not like it's actual skin but body armor, especially when you think about the plating that he has on the shoulder pads to kind of emphasize that. Beautiful. What I love about what I'm seeing right now is that this looks so familiar in regard to just the previous gameplay from the first two games, but looking at the options on the bottom, it seems like there's just so many moves available, and I have absolutely no issue with the fact that it looks like there's going to be a host of additional new moves. Even just taking a look at some of the minor details, like you see, I don't know, it looks like spit coming from him or something like that as he's getting pretty much the crap beat out of him. I like that little attention to detail. It looks like there'll be some great finishes, and I'm very curious to see if the environment that they're in, if I'm having them against the wall in the air, is going to have an impact on that type of finishing move, whether it be a different animation or whatnot. But even this, that sold me. Just the transition, even just the possibility of being able to switch between it. But look at that. Look at the sense of speed and just power that Miles has swinging across the city. And those gliders, Jesus. I know the Spider-Man comic fans is going to be lit on that, just with the wingsuit and all that. I've seen that incorporated into a few animated shows, but this is the first time I've seen it incorporated in the game, and it just looks fire. Like, swinging through the city is going to be beautiful, especially if this is running at 60 frames per second in 4K. Visual beauty. I've actually did a few gameplay minor with regard to Spider-Man Miles Morales, so if this is going to be enhanced on top of that, then it's automatic for me, must buy. Again, everything just looks so beautiful, but Also, it looks like there's just so much options available to you, and that's a wonderful thing as well. That's really why I'm excited, just seeing all the kind of button prompts, knowing that those are different types of gadgets and abilities. And again, look at Miles. My man is just running shit. And look at that. My man literally does a Kamehameha wave. That's how popping my man is right now. Insomniac is just fire with regard to the animation. Keeping it real, Insomniac has always had a consistent record with regard to technical polish, going as far back as their first release of Ratchet and Clank. Even taking a look at the last Ratchet game they released, the DNA for the gameplay variety has always been present, able to easily transition that into Marvel's Spider-Man, and they make it all look so good. Naughty Dog has raised the bar with the beauty and realism that the Uncharted and The Last of Us series provides. Capcom continuing to quote-unquote blur the line with their realism with the Resident Evil franchise. Insomniac has always, for me, been below the radar regarding their animation. The Ratchet series leans more towards a Pixar look, but it is a look that has consistently gotten better and better over the years. And I love Spider-Man's personality. Obviously, I think everyone is kind of familiar. We've all seen, for the most part, Spider-Man 3 or know the history with the Venom symbiote. So you can see the effects that it's having on Peter already, where he's not even making any sort of jokes in the trailer. Not any sort of one-liners. He's very serious. And it's like that's a complete change from his mannerisms in the first two games. He's very... I wouldn't say free flowing. He takes obviously his responsibility very serious, but he's always had a lighthearted approach, comedic, etc. So that missing is transparent in terms of seeing that. I just love the interconnected gameplay between the two as well. Like it's giving me Uncharted vibes with the way they're able to kind of have these kind of big set piece moments while still being able to kind of swing and kind of do their web shooter thing, you know, in between that. It just looks so flawless, but gets so grand at the same time. Even though it's just a kind of minor fight on pretty much a waterway or whatnot, but it just looks beautiful, looks phenomenal. And I just love the whole kind of universe that's been built here, the whole world that's kind of been made pretty much alive right now. We have all the characters interacting with each other. There's clear history between each other with the first two games. You know, there's very little catch up. It's just a straight continuation, a true sequel, and that's just so exciting. And just comparing this with the original Spider-Man, not that it warrants that comparison. I mean, this was a game that was made, at least 5 years ago, considering the original remaster. So there has been time to improve upon it, but it's just, you can see the attention to detail in terms of what they have been kind of prioritizing. And look at the movement, how everything is kind of, look at all the particle effects and just the animations at the same time on the screen, the lighting, everything just working together, create a really live atmosphere. Like this is the most lit version of New York I've ever seen. Feels like a movie. I don't even know if you're able to stay with the Venom powers or if you're able to kind of switch up between regular Spider-Man and Miles Spider-Man and then the Venom suit Spider-Man. I don't even know if all three options would be available to you. That would be fire. I'm asking a bit too much right now. Kind of early for that. But still, this just looks wonderful. Like, just being like, imagine swinging at night doing all this. Crazy. The aim on those two guys is crazy, though. It is so good to see that ability return, like to be used also seamlessly in the cutscenes. Like you don't have to have played the original, but it's like you really should be playing the original two Spider-Man games to kind of get a hint of what's going on. Like, it's really worth the admission. Now that's an example of what I meant by the Uncharted kind of area. Like, it just looks so beautiful, so grand, even though it's just dodging left and right if when you think about it. But it just like there's just so much happening. Wow. And Lizard looks so much larger than what I would have initially imagined him as. Usually in the comics, he's more, he's large, but he's more man-sized, where Spider-Man can kind of maybe fight him one-on-one, but he's clearly monstrous, akin to how he looked in Amazing Spider-Man, the movie, I mean. Yo, look at the way he saved the people by webbing that banister while still moving to kind of do this whole shit. That's what I mean. There's just a lot of shit going on and it all looks beautiful. I like that little attention to detail. Spider-Man kind of, I don't want to say shoved him, but he didn't really have him land gracefully, and Miles saw that. So I'm just, you can see those little details where Spider-Man usually takes great care with the people that he's saving, where he would never have him stumble like that upon landing. But here he's clearly focused on something else, and oh man, it's going to be wonderful. That attention to detail is just something. Again, just looking at the way the Venom suit provides body armor for Spider-Man and the tendrils wrap around the suit like it's a literal alien suit. Just looks fire. His eyes look evil. And it's possible we may see some potential Spider-Man versus Miles Morales too, with the way they may come to a head if Peter's so serious or whatnot. So to summarize, this gameplay trailer for Spider-Man 2 more than seals the deal. The confidence on Insomniac to give us a full preview with plenty to speculate demonstrates how ready they are and have been in developing this game for the past couple of years. We have games that we may have to hold our hype for due to their reputation, for example with Bethesda and Starfield coming up. Some developers outright promising the feature and then canceling that, for example Overwatch, saying nothing to the people that have purchased the product under that promise. Insomniac is not a developer that falls into that category. They have consistently released a polished, technically sound product, and now with this release and their upcoming Wolverine title that looks to be more mature, Insomniac is in a great position to really cement themselves as the AAA developers to be on the lookout for on Game of the Year lists. Can't wait to find out. Cheers.